Hello. Hey Rin, how's it going? Alright, so last week my camera shut off halfway through. I think it's also going to shut off today, but all I have to do is press a button and it comes back on. So if you notice it, turning off completely, just start yelling at me so I can turn it back on. Also, I'm trying so much new software and stuff. Anything could go wrong, I don't know. How are you, Rin? I think I'm just gonna jump right into it. Alright, so the plan for today, the last 2 or 3 that we've done this, I've drawn from different poses that I grabbed off the internet, but this time I'm gonna try to just draw from memory because I've been trying to practice. So it'll be kind of in a simpler pose. So we'll see how that goes. Yeah, I got the music on this week. I think I just need something going on, so it's not completely silent. So let's see. How do you draw a hand? I think I'm going to start with the carpal bones, which look sort of like that. And it should be roughly 1/3 the length of this little box for your hand. This is stuff I should have learned a long time ago. But it's really hard. Question, what is the framed piece behind you? It's huge. Yeah. It's a Muka print that I used to have hanging up. My room is getting all moved around, so it's just sitting on a what are those things called? Easel. Sitting on an easel. So I'm also going to attempt to name all the bones. And not that there's a ton of bones in the hand, but there's 8 carpal bones. They can be kind of confusing because they're just a bunch of like little ball-shaped bones. Kind of weird. Which I did not know the names of these bones before, so. I don't know why. I don't think I had ever heard of a single name of the carpal bones ever, like in my life. So, oh, my dog wants to come in. Yeah, funny bone, finger bone. Never mind, he changed his mind. Sometimes he just goes to my door, starts whining. I get up, I open the door, and he's gone. Which is what just happened. It's all right. Maybe I'm sure they'll bug me later. I'll bring them in. It wouldn't be the first time they've appeared on here. Hey, Trevor, welcome back. So I watched this lecture by Robert Beverly Hale from, I don't know, maybe the 50s. And it was really cool. And he draws this, he's given a lecture in front of this big class, and he's drawing on the board behind him. This is like one of the best anatomy teachers of all time. And he just has this giant stick, and on the end of the stick is like a piece of charcoal, and he's drawing this enormous hand on the board behind him, just like it's nothing. It's really cool. So that would be fun to be able to do. So I'm going to take my time. I think normally I end up rushing it, frantically try to fill the page, but I'm just gonna go slower than what I feel is natural. Plus, I think the music will help. The nice thing about life drawing is that it hasn't changed much, if at all, since the old times. That is very true. And if it has changed, it's probably changed for the worse. Although I've never been to a life drawing class, so I can't really complain about the state of it now. That needs to be one of my, I don't know, resolutions or something, to start going to a life drawing class. Of course, right now it's kind of weird. I don't know if any are open, or even where I would go to do that. I talked to my friend for a little bit about starting one at his house, but that's kind of tough to do. So books and technique don't get outdated. Yep, most new mediums have obviously changed how we do things. Let's be real here. Undo and blend modes are kind of the modern version of more ancient techniques. Yeah, they definitely changed the work, the look of the work, the workflow. Everything's based on efficiency now. This is like a lifelong rant, but there's good things and bad things about it. Part of me wishes we could just all go back, but here I am drawing on a Photoshop live streaming. So, yeah. But it's funny because I think a lot of people assume that you can't do things the way that you used to, but there are a good amount of traditional illustrators working right now, and I think the demand for it is definitely not where it used to be. I mean, the old illustrators used to be like movie stars, and they were paid as much as like Leonardo DiCaprio or something. I mean, they were huge back then. So I don't know if it'll ever get back to that, but there are traditional illustrators working nowadays. Hey Dan, hey Steve. Have you ever done the experiment of never using the eraser tool while making a piece? You tend to get more ancient painterly effects. Yeah, I mean, I still do traditional art a lot. And it's true, you've probably heard, but sometimes when I'm drawing on paper, I will reach for the Control-Z button. It's ridiculous, but I don't know if I've ever actually, when doing a pencil drawing like this, if I've never used, say, like the eraser tool, or never used Control-Z or something. But there are definitely times when I'm doing key art or concept art where I will restrict myself to only using certain tools, or trying to do things, or, flattening layers when you don't technically need to, just to try to challenge myself. Sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't work out so much. Steve with the Cyclops again. Alright, maybe later. Oh, okay. I'm telling you later. We will do a Cyclops. A little Cyclops. Just to make you happy, because I want to make you happy, Steve. Okay, I made these a bit thick. Oh, when I work at work, I mostly have to use Photoshop, because it needs to match the other artists. It needs to get done in time. It needs to be quick and extremely changeable, because they're always having to change things. But before I go in, I usually do thumbnail drawings, or sometimes even the finished drawing on paper. I like vellum paper a lot. So I usually try to carry it as far as I can traditionally before I move into Photoshop. Not just because I think it's cool, but because I think I actually... There's some kind of naturalness to working traditionally that I just kind of lose when I go digital. At least I think so. Especially when you're planning a composition. I like to keep it traditional for as long as possible, because I don't want to lose that feeling that I get. All eye are on you now? Oh no, Trevor, that was... No. Oh god. Need a drink after that one. Ouch. I'm an enormous proponent of pen. not pencil sketches for getting ideas down on paper before being refined elsewhere. You can't erase equals new version equals more options to choose from. So yeah, I have messed around with, sometimes I'll do all Sharpie, little Sharpie markers when I do thumbnails. And yeah, I've heard people talk about really liking only pen stuff, especially for doing thumbnails and planning things. And I have messed around with that. For some reason, well, I think it's awesome and I like to change it up and do that. But I always have trouble with nailing the design down when I use ink. Because I always want it to be, I always want to keep refining the design. But yeah. So sometimes I definitely struggle with ink stuff. I mean, you can see me on, like right now, I'll draw a line and then erase it and then draw another line and erase it. But I definitely, I did a sketchbook where I did all ink, and I ended up with some of the worst drawings I've ever done. But it definitely made me start thinking differently, because you really have to think about each line before you make it. So it's pretty cool. Do you do that religiously, Trevor? Or is it just occasionally? Or is that like something you really stick to? Question, do you have any art-related guilty pleasures? Art-related guilty pleasures. Art-related guilty pleasures. I don't think so. I'm a little afraid of what you're asking, but give me a for instance. Art-related guilty pleasures. I primarily did layout and logo work, so sketching with pen was vastly more efficient than jumping straight into my tools. Even for fine art stuff, it helps me get the gestures in place. Yeah. I should do more ink stuff. I always love the idea of using ink a lot, and then I go to do it, and it's always really bad. And so then I get all disappointed and go right back to pencil. But I think that's awesome. I think that's really cool. Oh, wait. I think I'm drawing the thumb too far out. I'm trying to think, Ren. Art-related guilty pleasures. Oh, well, I don't know if this actually counts, but I really like photoshopping random horrible things. Well, okay, I shouldn't say that. Like, photoshopping goofy things of, I don't know. Like photoshopping your coworkers, like doing something dumb or whatever. I always enjoy doing that. So I guess that would be an art-related guilty pleasure. Okay, I'm glad that counts. Yeah, Photoshop is magnificent for making cursed images. I guess, yeah, that's what you would call it, cursed images. Okay, let's see. I didn't really study the radius and ulna very much, but hopefully I can just make it look like it resembles them. I gotta say, this week, I mean, I'll have to see the results to really be able to judge, but this week I felt like I finally kind of made some new ground on the hand, because it's always been so confusing to me. But it was like, finally I'm learning some of the fundamental things about it, that things start clicking now, and certain things are finally making sense now, as before it was always just so confusing. So that's been really exciting for me, and I'm excited to draw more of it. Actually, that's another thing. I can always tell I'm starting to learn when I start wanting to do it more, because when I'm really bad at something, I don't want to do it. And when I start getting a little bit more comfortable with it, then I just want to keep doing it and doing it. And so it's kind of a matter of getting to that point. And so this week I started having a lot of fun drawing the hand, whereas before it was, I guess I have to go study or practice drawing the hand. Do you know the name of the hand bones? Of course he does. I hope so. I'm going to draw them all in, and then I'm going to try to name them all. So don't look them up yet. But yeah, I think I got them. Some of them might take me a minute to remember them, but yeah, I think I got them. And I basically learned them today, so I hope I got them. Nope, that perspective isn't. Do you tend to avoid low-hanging fruit when it comes to learning a new skill? What do you mean by that? Do I tend to avoid like the easier, simpler ways to do them? Yeah, give me an example. Because, well, I'll tell you, a lot of other people will learn to draw the hand very, or any sort of characters or anything, in a very animated style, or I don't even know. But it's not that I don't want to learn it that way. It's that, I don't know, a lot of the things just don't click with me, and it's like I almost have to learn as much as I possibly can about it in order to even begin to understand it at all. Which, I don't know if that makes sense, but it's like I can't simplify it unless I've learned as much as I possibly can about it. Or it's that I understand so little about it, I have to learn, or I have to start learning everything about it, or as much as I can, to really sink my teeth into it. to start understanding it. Have you forgotten the skull bones? I don't think so. I think I can remember them. But you were talking about this, I think last week, Steve, about not forgetting the skull. And I think, so this week I went back and drew a couple skulls. And sure enough, there's a couple things that I'm definitely rusty on and need to keep practicing before I forget them. But no, I don't think I've forgotten the names of the bones. But yeah, I need to find a good rotation where I'm practicing one thing and then I have to find a way to make sure I don't lose that thing when I go to the next one. We're up in here waiting on the pop quiz. Cracks knuckles. Yeah. That'll be, as soon as I finish drawing it, we'll name them. Most people draw from an abstraction of the hand rather than really dive into the truth about what is actually there. Yeah, and I don't know if I'd call that low-hanging fruit, and I don't know if that's what you meant, but I don't know if I've gone through, or I've tried to learn things like all sorts of different ways. I've gone through so many books on this stuff, and it's just like none of it really stuck, and I don't totally know why. I'm sure I was doing something wrong. It wasn't the book's fault or anything. But I don't know. None of it stuck before. And it could just be as simple as I wasn't committing it to memory, or I didn't know how, or I wasn't testing myself enough. Like doing this, drawing it totally from memory, I could never ever do this before. So this is really cool to me. And it's a perfect test of what you know and don't know, because it just shows up right there. And I used to think that if I just sat there and drew something over and over and over again, that I would suddenly be able to draw it. But that has been proven to me to not be the case. It's good to repeat from time to time so you be consistent and have it in the same quality every time you draw it. I agree. So I need to give the skull some more attention before I forget it. Oops. Photoshop's bugging out a bit. There we go. All right, well, we are almost there. Okay, I'm avoiding these because they're the tough ones, and I'm not gonna be able to get those perfect. But and I'm kind of just guessing. Hold on, I gotta run through my head. Actually, in order to draw them, I think I have to name them. So let's go ahead and... Alright, so this is... I'll go with the carpal bones first, and there's 8 carpals. Actually. There's 8 carpals. And you have the Metatarsals. No, not metatarsals. Metacarpals. Metacarpals, and then from, well, oh, and don't judge me on my spelling. I didn't think about that. Those are the phalanges, but within the phalanges, that first digit is the proximal phalange, the intermediate phalange, and then the distal. Oops. Oh, wait, new person in the chat. Question, what is the average length of the index finger? I don't know, maybe... Oh, nope, camera's not down. Thank you for yelling at me. See, it's right back on. Don't worry, camera's not down. It's not like last week. Last week I had it on a stupid program that didn't work. Okay. I don't know how long the middle finger is, or the index finger. I'm sure you can look it up. Okay, back to naming things. The metacarpals, the proximal phalanges, the intermediate, the distal, and then, of course, this is the ulna and the radius. Okay, now for the hard ones. Let's clean that up. Nope, nobody tell me. Okay. This is the trapezium. Okay, so we have the trapezium. The trapezoid, I believe it's just called trapezoid. Trapezoid? Don't check my spelling on that. Trapezoid, the... Don't tell me. The capitate. And then the hamate. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. And then, oh yeah, see? Learning the names just made me realize that there should be one right here. I don't quite remember the size of this one, but it's something like that. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. 5 is, this is the weird one, triquetrum. Ketrum. How do you draw straight lines? Oh, it's super easy. You press the pencil down, you hold shift, and then you just draw a straight line. See? Actually, let's see. This is with shift. This is me without it. Yeah, well, it's not too bad. But yeah, you just hold down shift. You can go horizontal or vertical. Question. How did Phoebe forget your name when there were only 5 people? I don't know. I'm sure her job is really tough, so She was probably just overworked, wasn't thinking. No hard feelings. Question, what kind of pod would be ideal for you to be in? What kind of pod? A dolphin pod for sure. Alright. Triquetrum. God, that cannot be the correct way to say it. I mean, spell it. Or say it. I don't know if you say it like that. Triquetrum and then Pisiform. Horrible name. Pisiform. That's 6. And then, I guess. Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, once again. Oops. Wrote that on the wrong layer. Number 7 is Lunate. I'm going to tell you how I remembered all of these. I know anyone can memorize these things, but I always have trouble memorizing these types of things. And I thought you had some super ability. Nope. Photoshop, I'm just cheating with holding shift, and it's like using a ruler. I'm in shape. I'm in pizza form. I don't know, Trevor. I just don't know about that. I think I put these too far down. They're also too wide. But I'm not judging myself too much on these because I haven't really gotten to them yet. Question, if you were in a dolphin pod, what is the first thing you would do and why? I would just go for a really long swim around the ocean, you know, and mess with some sharks. Because apparently dolphins can take on sharks. So I'd go mess up some sharks. Just to be a bully, I guess. Technically, round is a shape. Oh, that was in response to Trevor. Yes. Oh, hey, it's the overanalyzers. See, now I feel like I need to do a good job. It's time, Dan. Ah, damn it, Steve. Wait, I didn't name my last one. Lunate and Scaphoid. Last one is Scaphoid. Once again, not sure of the spelling. So if you're an anatomy student, you might want to do some research on your own. I wouldn't trust me. There you go. There's the 8 carpal bones. All the metacarpals. 5 of them. The proximal, intermediate, and distal phalanges. And the radius and the ulna. And that is all the bones of the fingers. I mean the hand. And the tip of the arm. And yeah. And the way... I think the way I remembered it was... For trapezium, I don't know why, but I just figured... or pictured a trap and these giant letters, E and Z, getting stuck in a trap. So it was trapezium. I don't know why. Trapezoid. I don't know. And then capitate and haymate. It just... I pictured, because these two are like the same size and same shape, I just pictured like a guy trying to decapitate another guy. And he says, "Hey, mate, why are you doing that?" And so it's capitate and haymate. So that was easy to remember. And then triquetrum. I don't know. I pictured a guy trying to catch try. So that's 3, right? Well, I pictured it as 3. So a guy trying to catch 3 drums being tossed at him. So try to catch drums, and he smashes his pinky on it. I don't know. It made sense to me. And then pisiform, I just pictured a guy getting really pissed off and slamming his fist on the table, and that's about where he would hit it. And then lunate and scaphoid, they're holding up these 2 bones, and I don't think this shape is totally right. But I figured, actually, I think this shape is a little more like that. So these 2 are basically holding these 2 up. So I pictured scaffolding and a crescent moon. So lunar, lunate. I don't know. Okay, that was a really long, meaningless tangent. Question, did you know you can sunburn your lips? After our friend did? Yes, now I did not know a week ago that people sunburned their lips. No, Hazel Jane, I didn't know. The secret to good memory is just making god-awful puns for everything. Yes. So Trevor must be really good at memorizing everything. Okay. Does anyone see anything horribly wrong with my hand? That I drew, not my real hand. I don't want to know if you do. I don't know. I don't think it's that bad. Oh yeah, okay. Name's Cyclops. Okay. Let's see. It's hard to... How do you make a single eye socket? Like, where do you put the nose? I guess you just put the nose beneath the eye socket. No, I don't like that. I always like to give him an eye, because gotta have an eye. This is for you, Steve. Everyone else is probably pretty confused why I'm drawing a Cyclops. Did you know these ways of remembering names is completely insane? Yes, Hazel, I did, but I think it's fun. No, don't share my secret method. Oh, Lexi says it's accurate. That makes me feel good. I'm glad, because I was a little worried about some of these, like triquetrum. There might be a U in here, but for some reason I feel like there's not. Okay, back to Cyclops. The more important thing. Can't forget his... I'm glad you're happy, Steve. Let's give him a bit of an eyebrow there. Is there a reason why you really love Cyclops, or is this something that has just recently sort of become apparent to you? See, I still remember frontal bone. Occipital's back here. Parietal, temporal bone. Although the placement of them is fading a little bit, so definitely need to go back and relearn some stuff. And then zygomatic arch, maxilla, the mandible. There you go. There's your Cyclops, Steve. I think he's really creepy and terrible. Let's get rid of some of that giant cranium. I don't think he makes a whole lot of sense, but oh well. Alright, there's Cyclops to watch over us. Okay, well, it's only 9:48, so I'm just gonna keep, let's see. Actually, now I can grab my model and compare the drawing. Alright, it's not perfect, but it's not that bad. See, if I turn this light off, it'd probably light it a certain way. Actually, well, now it's all dark and creepy. Alright, I'm just gonna try to add a little bit of lighting onto this, just for fun. It may not look good, I'm not sure. Because I feel like it. Alright, so I don't want to mess that up. Okay, first I'm going to fill in the whole silhouette. This is one way you can paint things. Once you fill in the whole silhouette, you can lock it in place and change it to be whatever you want. The best part of drawing anatomy is having a body. Oh God, a body of work. Trevor. I'm in pain. I don't even know what to say to that. Hazel Jane, you still around? Wait, oh, question. Do you know what the most commonly fractured carpal bone is? No, I don't. That sounds like a very interesting bit of ER trivia. The most fractured. I don't know. Please tell me. For the folks at home, the process is called an alpha mask, since you can only paint on top of the grayed out area. Yes, an alpha mask. Sounds really cool when you say it like that. So I'm not sure what I'm gonna do next week. I don't know if I'll do maybe the underside of the hand, or just not quite sure yet. I think I should probably do hands for at least 1 or 2 more weeks. And then I should probably switch it up as soon as I start feeling comfortable with it. Alpha comes from RGBA, red, blue, green. Alpha meaning transparency. Scaphoid. Some people can break them when they fall off rollerblades. Really? Oh, it's because when they fall, they land like right on their palm like that. Ouch. Yeah, Trevor, ouch. Okay, so now that the hand is all dark, in fact, it's probably a bit too dark. See, I can lock it in place. I can do whatever I want. Yeah, too dark. Let's just start. Make sure to wear your wrist guards. Yeah, if any of you out there are going rollerblading, wear your wrist guards. You don't want to fracture your scaphoid. Oh no, I messed it up. This is one of the things I was most excited about. There's this really cool plane change that happens. It goes from here. This is like the top of the bone. And it's really let's switch. And it's really flat, and then this is the side of the bone. And it's really cool how that top plane curves around the side. And I had drawn it sort of the wrong way. So that's sad. Oh well. Okay, back to some light. So what do you guys think my next set of stuff should be? I did the skull, and I'm doing hands. And when I'm done with hands, where do I go? Do I start adding like the spinal column or the rib cage? Because that all sounds, I guess I could do feet, but that's gonna be weird. just don't know where to go next. Skulls and hands seemed very easy choices to begin with. I don't mean easy. I mean, they were the clear choice because you need to know these things. But I don't know what comes next. The hip is an incredibly interesting piece of the skeleton. Yes. And a part I definitely have trouble drawing. Like the entire pelvis is not a simple shape. Not a bad idea. Also, I have a lot of trouble with the rib cage, of course. It's always a tough one. It'd be cool if I could do a pole. Just have people choose. Either that or shoulders, front to back. They are entirely unique geometry. Yeah, they are. God, there is so much to learn when you go to draw the skeleton. Or the human figure, because after the skeleton, I'm really going to need to focus on some muscles and... I don't know. It's exciting. Yeah, the shoulders would be interesting because you have the scapula and the collarbone. I think Steve got his Cyclops and took off. I think he's only here for the Cyclops. Alright, well, I think I'm about done. There it is. Turn my light back off. Yeah, he's not bad. I am happy that I was able to name all of the bones, because I could not do that before. I didn't even know there was 8 carpal bones or anything. All right, everyone, thank you for watching and hanging out, and I guess I'll see you next week on Wednesday at 9 o'clock. Thanks for watching. See ya.